Hey everybody, so recently I uploaded the video ranking the expansions of World of Warcraft, and then a month later I uploaded another one dedicated to my thoughts on Jaina Proudmoore's character development since Warcraft 3. And lo and behold, BlizzCon came roaring in with classic servers, a new expansion, and Jaina's image front and center. So I threw together a quick video to follow up my commentary on these subjects. Plus, I'll throw in some general impressions on Battle for Azeroth. So, classic servers, holy crap, right? I know that a lot of people wanted this, and I really admire Blizzard's decision to give the people what they want, but I feel Blizzard has had really good reasons for resisting this. I think that they've always been aware of the inherent problems of doing classic servers. What I mean is, during my expansions countdown, I ranked Classic WoW high on the list, but not the top, because while all of our memories of vanilla are cheery and wonderful, the truth about the content has been greatly exaggerated by the fandom, and the game went through an outrageous amount of changes. What I mean is that World of Warcraft launched as a very different game compared to what it was by the time Burning Crusade came along. For example, Upper Blackrock Spire, or Ubers, came with WoW on November 2004, and in March 2005 they limited the party size of that dungeon to 15 players. Then, a year later, in March 2006, they dropped it to 10-man. So when Blizzard says that they're going to, quote, bring back the game that we all remember to the best of their ability, this presents a very significant problem of sorting out which version of vanilla should be on display. If preserving the past is the priority, and the past was altered during its history, what iteration is the definitive one? But this applies to classes too, as class balance at launch was kind of a mess, and Blizzard dedicated a long series of patches to fixing classes one by one over the course of 2005 and 6. And to what extent is the vanilla experience going to be recreated? Will they open the gates of AQ again? That event, the opening of those gates, they required Horde and Alliance gathering resources. Will those required numbers reflect the population of these new servers? A straight numerical import of what worked in 2006 is not going to work in 2017, no matter how badly we want it to. Are we going to the end of Classic where Warlocks were broken? Or are we going to the beginning and middle when Shamans reigned supreme in PvP? The classic WoW that we all loved was forged over time, never given to us in one package. I remember a time before Battlegrounds, and there were a lot of problems with World PvP prior to Battlegrounds being implemented, and I have clear memories of Blizzard promising the community over and over again that BGs would fix literally everything. So are we going back to the original Alterac Valley or the patched one? Definitively claiming that one patch of Classic WoW as the de facto premier experience is part of why Blizzard has resisted the idea for so long, as we all fondly remember different parts of what made the original game so great. The other problem is the inevitable cannibalization of their player community by offering separate servers from their core game. Though, to be fair, from a business standpoint, I think their timing is impeccable. Every expansion brings about a lot of changes to the game world and to the game systems, and with Battle for Azeroth going as far as abolishing World PvP and putting in a new system since 2005, and Lordaeron being retaken by the Alliance, perhaps an old school experience is well timed, and the community response that I've seen so far has been pretty huge. The more steps you take forward, the more steps you have to look back on, so I feel like the timing feels really right with this one. And speaking of the destruction of Undercity and the humans taking back Lordaeron after all this time, I feel that the Battle for Azeroth is pretty much MMO Warcraft 4. Sweeping arcs of war and conquest was always a staple of the RTS games, not the MMO game, so it's interesting to see some experimentation there. Personally, I wanted a Warcraft 3 remaster and a proper Warcraft 4, but that's just me dreaming. So those are my thoughts on classic servers. I think a lot of people will be really happy with this, but the decision-making process for Blizzard is going to be an epic drama. Already, I saw someone ask a Blizzard employee if classic servers would receive a Burning Crusade pre-patch launch event, and Blizzard pretty much said, good question. You know, since there are classic servers, will there be a Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King server? Where exactly is the line being drawn? You know, this is going to be one hell of an undertaking for sure, and the debate amongst the community is going to be really nuts. So moving on to Jaina Proudmoore, in my character study video, I pretty much called out Blizzard for abruptly rewriting the character so that they would have villains for the future, and it seems that I was only partially right. For starters, I am pleased to say that I was wrong in Jaina's role in the upcoming story. Now, we don't know a lot of story details for this expansion yet, but Laura Bailey's voiceover for the Battle for Azeroth trailer gave us a lot of information as to where Jaina stands. She is firmly a pro-alliance character who obsesses over her old hatreds. My fear was that Blizzard had ditched the character to wallow in her own misery and then return one day as a major villain, but that really does not seem to be the case. Though I did call out Blizzard for making her a character who sees things in black and white, and that does seem to be the case, it is tempered for me by this wonderful comment made by a Blizzard employee. Someone asked, is Jaina a hero in Battle for Azeroth? Blizzard's response was, she is complicated. Jaina is wrapped with regret. She is responsible for the death of her father and how the Horde is today. She is a damaged character and that damage will be explored. We will try to understand the way she is and try to pull her out of it. But she is not evil. She is conflicted. Right there is pretty much everything that I was talking about in my video. I'm very pleased that Jaina's complex background is being addressed, and it gives me some hope that while she is getting the spotlight, she has a chance to reclaim some of her former glory. Now, to be clear, I never desired Jaina to be returned to her Warcraft 3 iteration. What I wanted was some follow-up on the events that they put her through. If putting her firmly and resolutely in the pro-alliance sector spares us some stupid resolution involving the Void or the Old Gods corrupting her or that Dreadlord idiocy, then I say, better than nothing. But right now, Blizzard seems far more interested in their archetypal black and white, you know, us versus them storylines, rather than doing something nuanced anymore. The only interesting story they have right now is the drama between Gen Greymane and Sylvanas, and the Forsaken as a whole is a really underutilized treasure trove of unique motivations. But hey, I may have brought the hammer down on Jaina, but I could do a whole series of character study videos to demonstrate that she is not alone. Now, everything I've said so far has been my impressions on what has been announced in regards to Battle for Azeroth. It is up to Blizzard to play their hand right. We are way too early to be giving definitive answers to all of this, but you know, because the content of my last two videos was touched upon at BlizzCon, I wanted to follow up my opinions with some fresh reactions. I am super looking forward to Battle for Azeroth, and I hope you are too. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.